The following contains material that is based strongly on opinion and perception. Although the majority of material has been fact-checked and proven to be true, it is made solely for educational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good. Yep. Not quite great, but better than it is now. So sit back, close your eyes, and let Ray give you about 30 seconds to a minute of what America would be like if it was actually great again. After all, y'all, it's just time. Let's go.
Oh, beautiful, oh, spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties. Above the fruited plain.
What you talking about, Will?
Look here. I'm talking about America. Sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good. Saved brotherhood from sea to shining sea. And you ought to love him for it.
Take it to church, Ray.
He crowned not good. He told me he would. Save his brotherhood from sea to
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
shining sea.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Oh,
Oh,
Lord.
thank you, Jesus. Oh, God bless.
Thank
Thank
you,
you. Hallelujah. Amen. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Well, it's almost election time again, and look who's running. Again. Yep, this clown. No, I mean this clown. Why I oughta... Homie, don't play that. Old Donald J. Trump. That's right, I said it. Old. He's 76 now, and if he wins in 2024, he'll be 78 years old, the same age that Joe Biden is now. And I know what you're thinking. How in the hell is this sucker even eligible to run again?
He is now back!
Yep, he's back. Same old bad rhetoric, same old political pitch. Make America great again. Again. So my question is this. If you're saying make America great again, is that your way of admitting that the first time you didn't make it so great? Because if you made it great again, wouldn't you been reelected the first time? I'm just saying. Oh, that's right. You did win the election, but it was rigged and it was fixed. Right. After further researching our facts, we determined
That was a lie.
But anyway, they say when you know better, you do better.
Holy!
Now I get it. If people know when America was great, they'll take heed, conduct themselves accordingly, and begin to actually make America great. So I began to ask the questions. What would it take to actually make America great again? I've asked several people on numerous occasions to tell me what they think he's talking about when he says make America great again. I eventually launched a podcast and offered $100 to anyone who could call in and give a halfway decent answer to the age-old question, what is it going to take to make America great again? I eventually got one guy to call in, and he basically said, "You can play crazy if you want. You guys know what he's trying to say."
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and begin to do our own research. And knowing that slavery didn't end to 1865, we decided not to even start to 1900 and break down decade by decade everything of significance during those decades and figure out actually when was America great again. You ready, man?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. In 1904, St. Louis held the World's Fair. That was great, wasn't it? In the 1910s, you had the first time the United States would become a world power.
President William McKinley was assassinated in 1901.
It was also the decade of World War I and the emergence of the Ku Klux Klan. On to the 1920s. In the 1920s, the economy was as good as it had ever been. The sale and production of cars were at an all-time high, and people began to buy and use electric appliances. So maybe that's when America was great. On to the 1930s. 30s had the Great Depression, so I don't think that's when America was great again. Oh, but it did have the Star Spangled Banner getting named as the national anthem. So maybe it was the 30s when America was great again.
I don't think so.
On to the 40s. Well, in the 1940s, Jackie Robinson did break baseball's color barrier. That was great, right? Well, you also had the murder of Emmett Till, World War II, the Holocaust, and use of atomic bombs. So was that America being great? Nah. Well, on to the 50s. In the 50s, before there was Mike, there was Ike. Yep, everybody liked Ike. The election of President Dwight D. Eisenhower happened in the 1950s. It was also the decade of the first business computer being used. Yeah, and it was also the decade of the Korean War, the Montgomery bus boycott, and Brown versus Board of Education. So was America so great? Nah.
I don't think so.
The 60s? Woo-wee. Man, the 60s. Where do we start? Roger Maris hit 61 home runs? Man, the 60s. It was not only marred by the Watts riots and the Vietnam War, it's the decade of assassinations. Yep. Medgar Evers, Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Robert F. Kennedy, and the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The 60s? Nah. Well, on to the 70s. The decade of the emergence of heroin. Yep, the good old 70s. Plenty of partying and plenty of good times. The disco era. You know, back when Donna was working hard, John was staying alive, and Gloria was surviving. Yep, the good old 70s. Nope, not too fast. The 70s was overshadowed by Watergate. Yep, the whole Richard Nixon scandal. Oh, it was also the time of gas shortage and energy crisis, stagflation, where you had higher unemployment rates and higher interest rates. So that doesn't sound all that great. Now on to my favorite decade, the good old 80s. Yep. Yeah, you know, man, the 80s, the greatest decade of hip-hop ever. NWA straight out of Compton, Life is Too Short, Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim, Boogie Down Productions, By All Means Necessary, Biz Markie, The Vape. Now for the year of 88, the 80s, when we had stuff like The Cosby Show. Yeah, I do remember The Cosby Show, right? You also had Reaganomics. Sandra Day O'Connor became the first female ever elected to the Supreme Court. Nancy Reagan, Just Say No. Sally Ride, first American woman to ever go into space. Wait for it. Space Shuttle Challenger explodes on national television. Savings and loan scandal. Iran-Contra scandal. Emergence of crack cocaine. Yep, drug use was at an all-time high. So was America great? Nah.
I don't think so.
Well, let's see what's up with them 90s. Man, gotta be the 90s, man. You know, the good old 90s, man.
How about them
The 90s was the decade of domestic terrorism. You had the Oklahoma City bombing, the Branch Davidian in Waco, Texas, the World Trade Building, the first time, the Unabomber, Jeffrey Dahmer. But wait, there's more.
There's more?
Yep. You had the Bill Clinton impeachment, the East and West Coast rap war that resulted in the deaths of Tupac Shakur and Christopher the Notorious B.I.G. Wallace. It's all good, baby, baby. The O.J. Simpson trial, the Rodney King beating, Columbine school shooting.
Oh, please, man, stop.
Yeah, I know. Get the hell away from them 90s, man. On to the 2000s.
Man, what happened in the 2000s?
Man, we told the people we was making a short film. You really want me to tell you how America's been since the 2000s? All right, you asked for it. Where do we start? Now, don't get me wrong. It was plenty of good things that happened in the 2000s. Apple Computer unveils its first iPod. Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein are both taken down. El Chapo gets arrested. The Me Too movement. The story of the century. Sean Hornbeck and Ben Ormby are found together. Man, we even got to see a total eclipse.
I don't know, man. Real talk. Some people might say that's pretty good.
Oh, so you want me to go there? You really want me to go there? Yeah, all right. You asked for it. First of all, the 2000s were overshadowed by 9/11, the worst attack ever on United States soil. Also, shortly after, the space shuttle Columbia explodes upon re-entry, killing all 7 astronauts aboard. That don't sound so great. Followed up by Hurricane Katrina, the murders of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Eric Gardner, Tamir Rice, Justine Damon, Heather Heyer, Philando Castile, George Floyd, Subway's Jared Fogle scandal, 14-year-old Tyree Sampson falls to his death at an amusement park, the death of Tyree Nichols, and many, many more.
Yeah, and don't forget about all them school shootings.
Bruh, how could you? All those innocent babies at Sandy Hook Elementary, the students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, Columbine. Oh, that's right. That was in the 90s. My bad. But anyway, Virginia Tech, Michigan State, and right here at home, our own Central Visual and Performing Arts. And there's many more.
Yeah, you're right. The Nashville shooting.
Yeah, you're right, bruh. There's been many more. But we said short film. NBA legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gigi, and several others died in a helicopter crash.
But what about the Me Too movement and All Lives Matter?
Yeah, but what about the civil unrest in Ferguson? Yeah, and what about the fall of many of the prominent stars that we used to grow up and looked up to? Bill Cosby, Matt Lauer, Charlie Rose, Robert Blake, R. Kelly, and not to mention a global pandemic. Yep, you know, COVID-19. Yeah, you know, the Chinese flu. And we still haven't got to this guy in his 8 years in office. And after all the backlash we're still facing because of his 8 years, I know that's not when America was great again. In 2008, Barack Obama became the first African American ever elected into the White House. A remarkable feat that some of us thought that we'd never live to see. Yep, some of us even scratched it off our bucket list. Now, on to your 4 years. Yep, 4 of the most racist years in American history. Oh, that's right. And you were impeached twice. And that's right. You were also indicted on 34 felony counts. But yeah, Republicans, you're right. I agree with you on that one. Pretty petty. Hey, but when you have an arrogant SOB like that, had to get them on something. Not only did you stage the January 6th attack against your own country and people, but that's right, you're a well-known businessman. So that means the economy had to be thriving, right? Oh, and you did pass out stimulus checks and let you tell it, you're not a racist.
Look at my African American over here.
Bruh, I give up. I guess it's just a matter of opinion. Because if you ask Trump, he'd probably say something like,
my 4 years were the greatest 4 years in American
we'll
history.
let that be the reason. Nope. Still not satisfied with the age-old question, What is it going to take to make America great again? And just before I threw up my hands and began to lose all hope, I turned on the TV and this came on. Yep, All in the Family. I just kept hearing Archie and Edith say, those were the days. And I began to think, those were the days? Hey, hold on, man. Maybe I need to see what they talking about, man. Maybe they got the answer to that. Maybe that's when America was great again. So I began to put it on the scale and weigh it up. What was the difference between back then and today's time? Why were those the days?
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Oh, the hit parade. So I began to Google, what is a hit parade? Well, a hit parade is just pretty much a listing of the most popular songs at that time. Sound like Pandora to me. And then he goes on to say, guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days. Then I began to think, guys like who? Archie Bunker?
Guys like us, we had it made.
Those were the days.
Yep, a rich, racist white man ruling the television airways. Yep, that's when America was great again. Sounds just like Donald J. Trump. And I know what some of you all are thinking. Archie Bunker wasn't rich. Well, he opened his own tavern, so he wasn't poor either. I guess those were the days.
And you knew where you were then.
Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again.
What was so great about Herbert Hoover?
Well, Herbert Hoover was a mining engineer who earned almost $3 million creating tent cities. And I know you ask, what are tent cities? Well, tent cities are basically shanty towns. That's right, almost $3 million. And no, that's not Jeff Bezos' money, but it's nothing to sneeze at either.
So he housed and employed the homeless? That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it do. Hire the homeless and have them build the houses that they will live in. Sound like HUD or Habitat for Humanity to me.
Didn't need no welfare states.
Everybody pulled his weight. Gee, our old LaSalle ran great. Those were the days.
And when I Googled the full lyrics, it also said back when people were content and $50 paid your rent. Hey, I don't know what planet old boy live on, but somebody tell him $50 still pay some people rent. And it also said that all freaks were under circus tent. Another shot at the LGBTQ community? No. Well, guess I got half of the answer. When was America great? All depends on who you ask. Maybe it was great to them then. If you ask me, this guy's 8 years and this guy's 4 years is the reason why America is where it's at right now and has never been great and will never be great. Well, when it's all said and done, America, if this the best that you had to offer and this the best that you can do, then I'm embarrassed and shame on you. Until all lives matter, until everyone is treated like human beings with love, dignity, and respect, America will never be great again. You hear me? Never. And I mean that. Point blank, period. That's right. Racism won't end until we decide that we want to end it. Opioid and drug addiction won't end until we decide that we want to end it. Sex trafficking and bullying won't end till we decide that we're ready to end it. School shootings won't end until we decide that we're ready to end them. That's right. America won't be great until the people of America decide that they're ready to make it great. Did y'all hear me? I'm going to say it one more time. Until the people of America start making it great, America will never be great. And I mean that. And remember, stay humble at all times and get out and vote. Have your voice be heard. Hey, don't forget to check out the Mikey Justice Show live Wednesday night, 7:30 to 8:30 on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Trying to tell y'all, oh, we're going to make a deal with you, baby. Ray, take them home.
Whoa.
Special thanks goes out to everybody who supported me, who's liked, shared, subscribed, anything you've done to make the movement move. Without you, none of this would be possible. So stay tuned to the end. And I got special recognition for all the people who helped me and held me down. Appreciate you. I love you. Thank you.
Who more than self, their country loved, and mercy more than life. Look here, I'm talking about America. I love you, America.
Yeah, and I would like to give a special shout out to my boy Antonio for holding me down all them days I came here late because I was up all night editing videos. I appreciate you, man. And special shout out to Benjamin Crump for being the face of civil rights in this whole movement, man, and devoting his whole life to fight for equal rights for everybody. So special shout out to Benjamin Crump.
From sea to shining sea, Lord, Lord, thank you, Jesus. Shine.